There's been this whole thing about standing or kneeling at when the national anthem is played at sports games. And I remember as a little kid when, what was his name? Juan Carlos and Tim Smith, yeah? And when they, at the 64 Olympics, when they won the gold and bronze medal, and when it was being awarded, and they raised their fists like this. And boy, people really threw a fit, and they were erased. They had to give up their medals and everything like that. And I remember as a child thinking, why? They're standing up actually for the values of the country that I was taught as a child. I remember in grammar school, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And they were standing up for those values and saying, we need to do better as a country. So I couldn't understand the hostility towards them. And then the same thing now when, what's his name, Kaepernick, something, I can't pronounce his name, but when he, hasn't been standing up, and, people saying, oh, it's so disrespectful to people who have given up their lives serving in the military on behalf of the country. And again, I feel like, well, no, because what he's doing is standing up for the same thing that, the people who lost their lives in the military were standing up for. To me, it's not an indication of hostility. It's an indication of we believe in these values in the Constitution, and we believe in equal rights for all citizens. And when it's not happening, we have to say something about it, because these are the beautiful values that our country was founded upon. And so I see that as what they're saying, as what their thing is illustrating. So complimenting, what the people who've given up their lives, serving in the military, that they're complimenting, they're working towards the same thing. So this morning I was looking in the New York Times, and there was a picture, of the entire India Fever team. This is the women's NBA. They all kneeled down during the anthem before the playoff game. All the women, and they had their arms linked together. And I thought, good for them. They're really standing up for the values that the country was founded on. So I thought I'd just read a little bit from it, because it says that every Indiana Fever player knelt and linked arms as the national anthem played, and they were joined by two of the Mercury players, their adversaries. Two of those women also knelt. So it was across the board. And then their coach, the Fever coach, said to them, I'm proud of y'all for doing that together, being in that together. That's big, that's big. That's bigger than basketball, right? Bigger than basketball. And I thought, wow, this coach, her mind is in the right place. Civil rights is way bigger than basketball. And that the women on the team really stood together for civil rights, I thought was totally beautiful. And, for the people who have difficulty understanding that, I saw a cartoon that, it, to me, indicates why people are kneeling during the national anthem. So I don't know if you can see it, but in the middle, there's a big white guy with a T-shirt and a flag on it. And on this side, there's an African American man lying on the ground bleeding. Okay, and on this side there's a football star kneeling. Okay, and the guy in the middle is pointing at the football star and saying, "That's offensive." But he doesn't find the person bleeding to death on his other side offensive. Yeah, and what I think this coach was saying is, wait a minute, this is backwards. This is offensive when somebody can be killed in the street, and people, I mean, that's offensive, isn't it? To me, more offensive than whether somebody kneels or stands or whatever during the national anthem. Okay, so the article about the Indiana fevers, it said that in July, players on the Fevers and the Mercury, as well as the Liberty, were fined by the women's NBA after wearing black T-shirts intended to draw attention to police shootings in Louisiana and Minnesota. And so one of the Liberty Guards said then, "It's unfortunate that the WNBA has fined us and not supported its players. We feel America has a problem with the police brutality and black lives around here, and we just want to use our voices and use our platform to advocate for that." And the fines were later rescinded, which was good. So some people are saying the whole Black's Life movement is anti-police and they want to kill police. And I haven't heard any of that kind of talk, or maybe one or two people, but this is not the message of the Black Lives Movement. And I think it's just, an appeal for civil rights. And actually, the thing against police brutality regards white people as well as black people and purple pink people and pink people, because it happens to everybody, okay? So one of the, here's some more quotes. This is from Richard Sherman, a quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. And he said, whether you're taking a knee or whether you're locking arms, whether they're taking a knee or whether they're locking arms, they're trying to bring people together and unite them for a cause. Okay. More videos have come out of guys getting killed, and I think people are still missing the point. He added, the reason these guys are kneeling, the reason we're locking arms, is to bring people together, to make people aware that this is not right. It is not right for people to get killed in the street. And then the Carolina Panthers quarterback, Cam Newton, said that he saluted Kaepernick for making a stand for justice in this country, but that the real problem is and will always be people and how we treat one another. We all have to do better and be held accountable for our actions. I'm not here to talk about race. I'm here to talk about what's right. Yeah, and I think that's what the whole thing is about. It's not wishing ill. I mean, nobody in the world liked seeing what happened in Dallas with the 5 police officers getting shot. Another factor in this whole police versus, police and community relation things was brought up regarding was it yesterday or the day before that Keith Scott was shot in Charlotte, North Carolina, sitting in his car. He had gotten out. The police say he was holding a gun. His family said he was holding a book because he was waiting for his child to be dropped off by the bus. the police were coming out in a call regarding somebody else. So they weren't even looking for Scott, at this point. And he wound up getting killed. And somebody brought up the point, because the police, said he was holding a gun, and the family says it was a book. But this person pointed out, in North Carolina, open carry is completely legal. So the police have no right to go up to somebody who's holding a gun and question them unless that person is about to do something, about to commit a crime. But otherwise, with open carry, it's legal. The police should not go up and talk, and ask to search that person or question them or anything. And I know this same issue came up with the shooting. I forget which one it was. It was the one where the girlfriend filmed it, and the man had told the officer, it was a pullover on a traffic stop, said, "I have a gun, I think he was about to say it's legal." The cop got scared and shot him, But this is the whole thing. If you make guns legal, and if you make open carry legal, it puts a great burden on the police, and it really endangers the police officers' lives. Yeah. So if I were a police officer, I would be very much against open carry laws, very much against this thing where people can buy guns at gun shows without background checks, because it makes it more and more dangerous for the police. When the police are more in danger, they're more anxious, they overreact. And so this whole thing of prevalent guns in the society doesn't help anybody. Yeah? So I think we have to look at that as well, and what is safe, not only for the citizens, but also for the police. Yeah, because we don't want police officers getting killed. Okay, and then one more thing about the protests in Charlotte. Unfortunately, there's been looting and vandalism, and that's completely anti-productive. I know that Scott's family emphasized, there will be protests. Please, non-violent. Please don't hurt anybody. Please don't damage any property. But people get out of control, and that's really uncalled for and very harmful to do. Not only harmful for the people who own the property, but harmful to the what they're trying to bring to national attention, So I think everybody needs to do some thinking here and calming down and come together over our common respect for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and equal rights, What was that thing I learned, I think it was 3rd or 4th grade? All men are created equal. That's when I thought men referred also to women. I found out that it didn't. It needs to be when, all human beings are created equal. That's clear, and no matter what color they are. But that's, a basic American value that everybody wants. This is a very good point. Why is kneeling when they're playing the national anthem disrespectful? Because in all cultures across the board, when you revere something and respect it, you kneel. Yeah, so it is a sign of respect, isn't it? Yeah? So here you can see just how our human mind, as soon as you do something different, it's considered disrespectful. But actually, I think it's respectful, because standing up for the principles. And as you're pointing out, kneeling before something bigger than us is considered respectful. Yeah. I had never thought of that, but you're right.